Oh, Billy Joel, a matter of trust. Let's talk about trust for a minute if we shall, because guess what? Most Americans don't trust the media whatsoever. Trust in traditional media has declined to an all-time low, and many news professionals are now finally determined to do something about it. Isn't that amazing that, like, I don't know, beginning of the Biden administration, they're like, yeah, totally. Let's work on that now. Let's work on that trust. Okay, why does this matter? Faith in society's central institutions, especially in government and the media, is the glue that holds this society together. And that is absolutely true. But right now, 56% of Americans agree with the statement that journalists and reporters are purposely trying to mislead people by saying things they know that are false or gross. And 56% think that most news organizations are more concerned with supporting an ideology or a political position than with actually informing the public. I wonder, why do they think that? Well, why don't we just look at a quick clip from MSNBC and maybe that might explain it. I don't know. Let's watch.
Let me say one other thing before you let me go. There's been a lot of people pulling for this. Your help has been extremely important because not only have you continued to amplify some of the things that we're trying to do here, but you've been in the weeds. And you've talked about the very policies that have been knocking around for a long time and that we've finally been able to get together and put into a plan. So I want to thank you for your advocacy as well.
What? Wait a minute. That wasn't an MSNBC news anchor being complimented by a member of the Biden team for thanking you. Thanks so much for your hard work and being right there in the weeds with us to get our message across. Isn't that exactly a news anchor being so entrenched with a political party that they use their platform to spew out that political party's platform as truth and God's given word? Well, gosh darn it, I actually think it is. Spence, I want to skip something real quick and go to the CNN tweets real quick. Maybe part of that is because CNN has also been actually spreading fake news. Look at this. This was a tweet from Ari Fleischer. Fauci debunks CNN's reporting saying Biden's vaccine rollout not starting from scratch. I thought the Biden administration was dedicated to the truth. CNN should, whoever lied to them anonymously to peddle the story, should be calling about it. Bring up the next tweet because that was supposed to be the first tweet, this one. There we go. CNN has reported on air today a total of 23 times that the Biden administration has had to start from scratch. And then Dr. Fauci gets there and he's like, I don't know what you're saying. That's not really true. That didn't happen. I don't know how that happened. So you're telling me that like on day one of the Biden administration, CNN spent the majority of its time spreading a fake news story to trash the Trump administration and to give us false sympathy for the Biden administration. Hello. If that is not pushing forth a political agenda, if that is not the absolute epitome of fake news, I don't actually know what is.
It's all fake news.
Fake news.
Yes, when you make up a story that is not true and you put it on the news knowing it's not true in order to purport an agenda, a narrative, that is what is fake news. And we've been dealing with it a lot. Normally, it was against Trump because they just all hated Trump so much. But now that Trump's no longer there to beat him up, their fake news story was, oh, Trump just screwed everything up so badly. Blah, 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 blah. They can't do that anymore. They absolutely cannot do that anymore. That is a huge problem. And this is why people have no trust. Let's just also remember that Jen Psaki, the brand new chief White House press secretary, thank you, can't think of her name. She was left kind of dumbfounded and speechless when she was finally challenged on something.
Why weren't President Biden and all members of the Biden family masked at all times on federal lands last night if he signed an executive order that mandates masks on federal lands at all times?
At the inaugural...
At the Lincoln Memorial, yes.
I think, Steve, he was
celebrating an evening of a historic day in our country. And certainly he signed the mask mandate because it's a way to send a message to the American public about the importance of wearing masks, how it can save tens of thousands of lives. We take a number of COVID precautions, as you know, here in terms of testing, social distancing, mask wearing ourselves as we do every single day. But I don't know that I have more for you on it than that.
Oh, so when she's called out on President Biden absolutely being a total and utter hypocrite on the very day that he signed a mandate that you must wear a mask on federal property, and he wasn't wearing a mask and neither was his family, and they were all ripping it off. Her response was, well, they were celebrating it as a special day. I really don't have more to say on that. What she was really saying was this.
Damn, you burned me. I got nothing.
Damn, I got burned. I got nothing. That's what she was saying. And Pete Ducey, do you want to know what Pete Ducey was saying? He was saying this. Damn, you just got served. You just got served. Exactly. That's what he was saying, because he was called out big time for the hypocrisy. Because all we've heard from Biden over the years and from the liberal media is we need to have an example. That Donald Trump, he is such a bad example. He isn't wearing his mask. Oh my God. He had these events. He was around people who weren't wearing masks. Faux outrage, faux outrage, faux outrage, faux outrage. But when Biden does it, it's totally okay. Because, he's Biden and he's old and forgetful. And, well, he's president now, so none of that matters anymore. This is why people do not trust the media whatsoever. Do you want to know what else is interesting? When the media actually tried to challenge Joe Biden, because he said, hey, we're going to do the 100 million vaccines. And a journalist had the audacity to say, but that was kind of the Trump's plan. Like, this isn't bigger. Shouldn't you aim higher? This is what we got from him.
Is that high enough? Shouldn't you set the bar higher? That's basically where the U.S. is right now.
When I announced it, you all said it's not possible. Come on, give me a break, man. That's a good start. 100 million. Thank you.
Come on, man. Don't ask me a question. I'm going to get up slowly and walk away like I'm outraged, and I'm not going to take any media questions. That should not be a surprise to anyone, because Biden has never taken any media questions. He really hasn't. Remember that interview he did beforehand, before he became officially president, with Stephen Colbert, was an interview with a late night talk show host, B-list comedian. And when Kamala Harris finally did an interview with Jane Pauley for CBS Sunday Morning, there was lots of hard-hitting questions like, why do you wear Chucks? If you want to know why no one has any trust or faith in the media, that's why. That's why. Because they're not telling you the truth. We don't have a misinformation problem as much as we have a trust problem. Oh, sure, there's misinformation all the time. Sure, there's lies and there's fake news. But the majority of our problem right now is that Americans don't trust anything they hear on TV. They don't trust anything they see on social media. They don't trust one bit of it. And that is a huge and massive problem. And we're not really going to be able to heal. We're not going to be able to unify. We're not going to be able to get better. We're not going to be able to accomplish anything until that is dealt with. And I'll be honest with you, as a member of the media for the majority of my adult life, I don't even know how they can solve the problem because they're too far gone. Every example I've shown you in the show is the media all hook, line, and sinker in for the left. They are just puppets of the left. And they want to tell you that you are bad and you are wrong because you dare think something different. They're silencing you on every single platform. They want you to be reprogrammed. They want to do everything they can to make you follow their belief system, their way. And I just want to remind everyone, that's actually what authoritarian fascist dictators do. I want to remind everyone, Donald Trump, he was extreme. He was overly funny and sometimes vicious, rude, and mean, and cutting and biting. But he never once forced anything on anyone. He never refused to take questions from the media. He was readily available. And even when they would attack him relentlessly, he'd show up. So would Kayleigh McEnany. The only way that you will have true trust again is with true and total transparency. Now, we've already seen CNN can't do that. We've already seen that MSNBC can't do that. But it better start sometime soon or we're in a load of trouble, because let me tell you, I've watched the press briefings now 2 days in a row for this new Biden administration, and Jen Psaki can't seem to answer one question. She can't tell you where Dr. Bricks is. She can't tell you where the Winston Churchill bust went. She can't tell you anything. Oh, she can tell you that Joe Biden's going to redecorate and get rid of the Diet Coke button. But she can't tell you any facts. That's a huge problem. All right, coming up, we've got a great guest with us, Assemblywoman Annie Black. She is on fire, and she is going to be taking Carson City in the palm of her hands. I think everybody on the right and the left is freaked out about this woman because she is there to get things done. And we're going to talk to her about the state of the state, the budget, all these tax proposals by the teachers union, and so much more right after this break.